Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rcha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. And today we're going to go into the book of Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ox or his sheep go astray, and hide thyself from them. Thou shalt in any case bring them again unto thy brother. So if you see, the animal of your neighbor going astray, right? It's just going veering off somewhere, and you see it. You're not supposed to just ignore that. You got to go get them and bring them back to your neighbor, to your brother, your fellow Israelite. And if thy brother be not nigh unto thee, so they're not near. So let's say their animal strayed all the way, but you know they came from that direction. You know who they belong to, but they strayed all the way, and you saw them in a random place, and the person who owns it is not near, then, as it says, or if thou know him not, so you don't know who it belongs to, then thou shalt bring it unto thine own house, and it shall be with thee until thy brother seek after it, and thou shalt restore it to him again. So you're going to keep it like the lost and found. You're going to keep it until they seek after it, and you'll hear it, right, at some point, maybe in a marketplace or whatever, about somebody missing an ox or whatnot. Word will get around, and then you'll say, "Oh, yeah, I did see one over here. Oh, it belongs to such and such. Oh, okay, let me return it to him." In like manner shalt thou do with his ass, which is his donkey, and so shalt thou do with his raiment, and with all lost thing of thy brothers which he hath lost, and thou hast found. Now, this doesn't mean it can apply to it, but it's not exclusively talking about like your actual brother. It means your fellow Israelite. It says, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Because, it mentioned above, if you don't know him, how you not going to know your actual blood brother? Right? That's how you know it's talking about your fellow Israelite. Which has lost, verse 3, which he hath lost, and thou hast found, shalt thou do likewise. Thou mayest not hide thyself. So not just for his oxen or his ass, but anything that belongs to them. Thou shalt not see thy brother's ass or his ox fallen down by the way, so having collapsed, and hide thyself from them. Hiding yourself is like you are ignoring it, right? You're turning a blind eye. You're acting like you didn't see it and not going to help. Thou shalt surely help him to lift them up again. So you got to go there and help him get them back on their feet. The woman shall not wear that which pertaineth unto a man. Neither shall a man put on a woman's garment. And in the ancient world, women's garments were made different. They were longer, and they were made different than a man's garment. So you can tell the difference if a woman was wearing a man's clothing and vice versa. And you weren't supposed to do that. You're not supposed to do that. That's cross-dressing. For all that do so are abomination unto the Lord thy God. If a bird's nest chance to be before thee in the way, in any tree, or on the ground, so if you happen by chance to stumble upon a bird's nest, whether they be young ones or eggs, and the dam sitting upon the young, the dam is the new mother. She either just bore or just pushed out the eggs, or the babies are just young. It says here, and the dam sitting upon the young, so she's with the young or she's sitting upon the eggs. Thou shalt not take the dam with the young. You're not supposed to take the mother and the young. But thou shalt in any wise let the dam go, so let the mother go, and take the young to thee. That's if you're going to take it, take the children, the chicks, that it may be well with thee, and that thou mayest prolong thy days. Because really, if you think about it, if you, let's say you took the mom and left the chicks, they just going to die. But you take the chicks, the mom can go have some more at another time. Anyway, verse 8, when thou buildest a new house, then shalt thou make a battlement for thy roof. A battlement is like I guess railings, for lack of a better word. It's basically to cover like the sides, guardrails for the sides of your balcony and or your roof, to make sure that ain't nobody falling off of that. Right, a parapet, a low wall at the edge of a balcony, roof, etc., or along the sides of a bridge. Okay. So the law is, if you build a house, you're supposed to make sure you have that on your roof, that thou bring not blood upon thine house, if any man fall from thence. Thou shalt not sow thy vineyard with diverse seeds, lest the fruit of thy seed which thou hast sown and the fruit of thy vineyard be defiled. So you're not supposed to mix or sow your vineyard with, diverse seeds. If it's olives, it should be olives. If it's grapes, it should be grapes. It don't mix them. Verse 10, thou shalt not plow with an ox and an ass together. And one of the practical reasons here is because they're of different strength. The ox is stronger than the ass, so it can pull more weight than the ass, and there's going to be an imbalance, which is going to actually put more pressure on one of the animals. Okay, so you don't plow with these two types together. You plow with either your ox or your ass, but you don't have that imbalance there. Thou shalt not wear a garment of diverse sorts. It doesn't mean like a multicolored garment, it just means a garment made of different materials, as of woolen and linen together. Thou shalt make thee fringes upon the four quarters of thy vesture, that is your clothing, wherewith thou coverest thyself. So that's all around the hem or the skirt of it. If any man take a wife and go in unto her and hate her, so you take a wife, you pop her, but you end up not liking her, and give occasions of speech against her, and bring up an evil name upon her. So you basically start to give an occasion of speech against her, meaning you're spreading or saying things that can bring a bad name to her or her family. It says, and an evil name upon her, and say, I took this woman, and when I came into her, I found her not a maid. The word maid is a bathwala, which is a virgin, meaning you're basically saying, I took this woman to wife, but she wasn't a virgin. Then shall the father of the damsel and her mother take and bring forth the tokens of the damsel's virginity unto the elders of the city in the gate. Now the tokens of her virginity are the cloth or sheet on which they laid for the first time. Because usually what would happen is, being that she is a virgin, when he pops her for the first time, breaking that hymen would cause her to bleed, and then they would they would always usually make sure that the maids or the women, the girls, were not doing any activities, any extra or anything like that can possibly cause a tear there, so that way they would be preserved, so they could guarantee that token on the night of her marriage. So that blood that was stained the sheet or the cloth or whatnot would be kept of the parents as the token to show that, hey, she was a virgin. So here it says they would get the tokens of her virginity and bring it to the elders. And the damsel's father shall say unto the elders, I gave my daughter unto this man to wife, and he hateth her. And lo, he hath given occasions of speech against her, saying, I found not thy daughter a maid, and yet these are the tokens of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread the cloth before the elders of the city. And the elders of the city shall take that man and chastise him, and they shall immerse him in 100 shekels of silver. So they're going to charge him 100 shekels of silver, and give them unto the father of the damsel, because he hath brought up an evil name upon a virgin of Israel. And she shall be his wife, he may not put her away all his days. So he stuck with her. But if this thing be true, and the tokens of her virginity be not found for the damsel, then they shall bring out the damsel to the door of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her with stones, that she die, because she hath wrought folly in Israel, to play the whore in her father's house. Her father's house is where she would be dwelling before she gets married. So if she goes and she gets popped and all that, and she plays the whore, and she she went and got popped. She didn't marry the person she got popped by, or she lost her virginity to, and now she's given off to marry somebody else. She's playing the whore, and they're gonna put her to death. It says here, so shalt thou put away evil from among you. Verse 22, if a man be found lying with a woman married to an husband, that's adultery, then they shall both of them die, both the man that lay with the woman and the woman. So shalt thou put away evil from Israel. If a so that's you, a man and a woman they're caught committing adultery. Okay. If a damsel that is a virgin be betrothed unto an husband, so she's engaged or promised to someone, and a man find her in the city and lie with her, that means he has sex with her, then ye shall bring them both out onto the gate of that city, and ye shall stone them with stones that they die. The damsel because she cried not, being in the city, and the man because he hath humbled his neighbor's wife. So thou shalt put away evil from among you, because in the city people are around. So if she screamed out for help, somebody would come out, right? But she didn't, which indicates that she was down with it. Because back then you would know, right, as a woman that's married to scream for help. So it's saying here because she didn't do that, and then she got humbled, she got taken by another man, even though she was betrothed onto somebody else. They both got to be put to death. Verse 25, but if a man find a betrothed damsel in the field, and the man force her and lie with her, that's grape, then the man only that lay with her shall die. But unto the damsel thou shalt do nothing. Why is he going to die? Because he forced her, he forced a betrothed woman. That's adultery still. But the woman is not going to die. As it says, there is in the damsel no sin worthy of death. For as when a man riseth against his neighbor and slayeth him, even so is this matter. Meaning, in the field, it's hard for unless somebody's around, nobody really can come to your aid because they're not going to hear you. You're not in the city. There's not really people around. It's easy, right, for somebody to, to get away with something like this, right? So for that reason, that's why I gave this example of like slaying somebody. For that reason, she would be spared. For he found her in the field, and the betrothed damsel cried, and there was none to save her. See, because there was nobody around. Verse 28, if a man find a damsel that is a virgin. So here she's not betrothed, but she's a virgin. Well, it says that, which is not betrothed, and lay hold on her. And the key in this verse here is lay hold. Lay hold is not, oh, let's hold hands and then let's happily lay down together. And lie with her, and they be found. So when you go into that word, lay hold, it's a bit more aggressive. Okay, let's see if I can. Okay, that's a problem. That's a problem. There you go. So lay hold, thapash. It says here to catch, handle, take hold of, seize. Now, does that sound friendly to you? No. To grasp, right? To be seized, to be arrested, to be caught, to be captured. Come here, bitch. To basically. So that's the case of forceful, taking, right? Known as grape. So he basically forcefully takes a virgin and he lies with her, and then the matter is found out. Then the man that lay with her, he's not going to be put to death because it's not adultery. But what's going to happen is he's going to, as it says, give unto the damsel's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall be his wife, because he hath humbled her. He took her virginity, even though it was by force. He may not put her away all his days, so he can't divorce her. She has to, he got to stay with that. And I believe there's another precept that mentions that if the father is sternly against it, then he's just gonna have to pay the price. But the father's like, nah, I'm not giving you my daughter. Verse 30, a man shall not take his father's wife, nor discover his father's skirt. You're not supposed to sleep with your mother or your father's concubine. That's discovering your father's skirt or uncovering his nakedness, and that's wickedness. You're not supposed to do that. Now let me do this quick cross-reference and see. Pretty sure I read this somewhere. I just can't find where it is. All right, let me see if I can do a quick search. Shekels of Is it silver? All right, let's see. Okay, so yeah, I read it somewhere, but it's escaping me right now, so that's all right. If I find it and the spirit is on me, maybe I'll put it in the comment section of this video here, but if not, then it is what it is, but I'm pretty sure it's in there. So if it comes to mind, maybe in another video, I might make mention of it again. But in any case, that brings us to the end of the book of Deuteronomy, the 22nd chapter. Lord willing, that was edifying to the elect. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechak, Kodash. And until next time, Shalom.